Welcome to your inspirational Astrology Horoscope for the weekend of February 8th through the 9th of 2020. I'm astrologer David Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Well, thanks so much for being a part of HighVibe.tv. Hey, are you a member of HighVibe.tv? Are you watching these daily videos every day and my weekly sun sign horoscopes and my weekly intuitive and my weekly tarot and deep astrology in full and my monthly horoscopes? All of it is part of the membership. We've got a 20% off sale right now. Deep Love is the discount code for 20% off on all memberships and all paid videos. The best part though, where most of those paid videos, especially now the monthlies, are included in the membership. Or you can go get my monthly horoscope right now, which is all about staying focused through chaotic distractions. This is a crazy month. I am already sure you're feeling it, especially this is the new normal, people. So use the discount code right now if you're not part of it. For those that are on High Vibe, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for everything. But before we take a look at all the planets, let's take a look at the Leo King's planet energy meter to understand what all the energy is for your full moon in Leo weekend. And I'm sending you lots of great energy. I am sending you lots of love and light. And I'm hoping that you have an awesome, amazing, and spectacular, wonderful full moon in Leo weekend. I'm a Leo. By the way, before we go to the energy meter, I'm at the Conscious Life Expo speaking with Susan Miller, Deborah Silverman, Coyote Star, Henry. There's so many people. So please check out the Conscious Life Expo. If you happen to be watching this and you're in LA, it's at 9:30 a.m. in the Plaza Ballroom, the astrology panel. It's going to be a big one, 2 hours long. I think Gaia is streaming it. I am not unsure about that though. So I don't know. But if you happen to be there and happen to catch this, I'll be at the Conscious Life Expo Saturday. I'll be hanging out. But let's go to that energy meter for today. But before we take a look at these planets, I'm putting that energy meter at that extreme position. Boo! This is the full moon that is going to bring us the reminder that love, happiness, and the courage to get through this life must be there. I know I sound like a preacher, but I'm really just a Leo. So this full moon in Leo is bringing life back because remember, the sun in Aquarius is at its detriment. The sun likes to be in Leo. That is the home of Leo. That is the dignified position. Okay, so this full moon, even though, sure, it's in Leo, and even though that's not the home for Leo, at least there's a reminder of reflection back from the energy of the sun that happens to be in Aquarius about connection, about bringing that energy into the future of love and happiness that surrounds you. Especially that this full moon is coming at a time when, A, we've got Saturn and Pluto, which have conjuncted since January. January was gnarly. You went through so much Capricorn. You went through the Saturn, Pluto, Sun, Mercury conjunction, and eclipses with Capricorn energy and Cancer, and that's where the nodes are. And it's like, gosh, when it comes to just finding emotion and finding the security of that, but also at the same time, trying to have control and get to where you really want to go in your life and making choices, it's extreme. So this is to revive us of all that. Especially, Venus is now in Aries. So it's out of Pisces where it's exalted. It likes that. It's easygoing and all that. But oh man, now we have moved into Aries where it's at detriment and it's with Chiron. Now I've been calling Venus, Chiron here in Aries as Beauty and the Beast. There is something weird about it because Chiron, of course, in Aries is, no matter what you look at in your life right now, it always seems like the identification of it through your ego, it's like getting that Chiron where it's not showing up that way. It's a lot like the cars in the 70s when Chiron was in Aries. Like, let's say, whatever they put on the drawing boards and whatever they put in real life, it really did not turn out that great. Some people could say that about the furniture and brown carpet and bell bottoms and long hair. I'm not saying that I don't think that was cool and I don't think that, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying that it didn't last. So, or there's kind of the irony that a lot of the hippies, even though I think it's more of a 60s thing, but some people thought of it as more of a populist thing in the 70s. Why do you think that the spiritual culture is getting a pop right now? Chiron and Aries. Because they're identifying with, people are identifying with their life and not seeing their egos work out. And it's like spirituality helps you understand that. That your ego is not going to get what it wants this life. So it's like Chiron and Aries is the wound to that. But here's Belle. Remember, she feels off in the town. She feels like nobody can understand her. Her dad's a quirk that does all these crazy invention stuff. And she likes to go into town and read books about magic and sword fights and all that stuff. And she's read all the books in the bookstore. But she is very Aryan as a woman, right? She's very goddess, like Aryan. You'd think, you'd imagine it more of like, a warrior princess, but there is that part of Belle who she just knows what she wants. The whole town wants her. She'll say no to everybody. But there's something about when she ends up at that castle with the beast, which, by the way, the whole beast story, of course, that's another Chiron story in Aries, like, right? About vanity or identity, right? Some witch shows up that looks like a homeless person with here's a gift of a flower. He denies it. She turns into a beautiful, woman and curses him and gives him the rose and says, by the last time that the rose petal falls, like by his 21st year, that he better fall in love or somebody better fall in love with him in the form that he is. We all feel like we've gotten that curse. We even all feel like possibly even that part of Belle. So I think we're all playing parts of both of it, but this is where Venus and the beast come together in a weird way while full moon's in Leo. And so now you've got the candlelight dinner and you've got the candlestick and you've got all of it, right? And you got Chip working around. Woo! Like it's like a beautiful moment here to remind ourselves that even though this world looks crazy, because you got to remember that Uranus is in Taurus and the last 2 weeks have been off this new moon in Aquarius, off the Chinese New Year, by the way, that was square Uranus. So Uranus and Taurus, well, Taurus is a fixed earth sign. Guess what that means? This world, this reality is not stable until Uranus leaves here. We've got a long time. You start better looking at that 2026 energy because that's when we're going to flop into a different vibe. But Uranus and Taurus, especially like it was in 34 through the beginning of the 40s, I mean, I'm sorry to say it was not a very good time with money. It was not a very good time of stability in the world. Lots of ally shifting, of value shifting. And so this is a time where we are having to find love in the craziest, weirdest places and the most vulnerable, where we all feel cursed, that we're not getting the identity, we're not getting life, and we're control freaks. Mercury is in Pisces. Now, no, Mercury's not a control freak in Pisces, but what it is it's trining the North Node in Cancer at 7 degrees, and it's sextile over to the South Node in Capricorn at 7 degrees. This Mercury is trying to figure out our destiny, but it's in shadow. It's going to come retrograde here on the 16th and into the 17th when it retrogrades, and it's going to come back to these degrees in the end parts of February and look at this North Node, and then it's going to come direct in Aquarius later on into March and come back. So we are going to be continuing here over a lot of these situations that are going on this weekend and what are bringing up. And relationships come up huge. Venus on Chiron, a full moon in Leo. Juno's involved in Libra, by the way. The asteroid that does deal with Juno, who married Jupiter, who was loyal to Jupiter. And totally the Jupiter and Juno story is this beautiful relationship that was loyal and understanding of each other. So that's in Libra, by the way. It's retrograde, 21 degrees. And it's connected to this full moon at 2020, Leo and Aquarius. So there's a lot about relationship and partnership and the kind of partnership we want, but we got that Saturn-Pluto thing in the quincunx. This reality is hard, it's tough. The Jupiter's at the 15th degree of Capricorn. This is the fall degree of Capricorn. So for Jupiter. So this is not the most easiest time for us to see the positive energy that we normally feel comfortable in. We are having hard choices that we don't know almost how to find options in our life, or it feels like there's limited options. Remember, Saturn is in Capricorn. It is at its dignified position there. It's got Pluto with it. And we just went through a Saturn-Pluto conjunction. That's not normal. Saturn-Pluto is not a normal conjunction point. And we went through it on January 12th. And look at where the world's gone in just the last 3 weeks. Holy shit, even 4. But remember, we are in the rat. And we are at a time where we have to really figure things out, and we need to be we can figure things out. I know it's an unstable world, but we got to learn to ice skate a little bit. Mercury's in Pisces. We got to go with the flow, and we got to go with our gut and our intuition. And if something doesn't make sense for us spiritually and it doesn't feel in alignment with our soul, that's not part of our emotional comfort zones. And with all this Capricorn of control, are we going to block ourselves from the ultimate love? That's the quincunx to the moon. Mars is in Sag. Now, we want to use this Mars in Sagittarius because remember that the South Node is in Capricorn. So when Mars enters into Capricorn, ironically enough, when Mercury's going to come retrograde here in the 16th, 17th, the South Node is there. And that is hard for Mars. Mars and the South Node don't get along that great. Mars loves Rahu. Rahu and Mars like each other a lot. They get the power to do what they want and they go and make it happen. South Node is K2 and it's like, no, we're going to have to let go of you. It's a loss. It's the general's loss. And so this is where, with Mars here coming to this galactic center and the South Node, they're both coming towards that galactic center. They're both coming into that space. We are coming into a very tight energy when it comes to feeling this galactic shift in life. this galactic moment of a higher vision and trying to get on that vision. And this full moon in Leo is reminding you to have courage, to have heart. And if it doesn't have heart, if it doesn't have encouragement, if it doesn't have the passion, if it doesn't have the energy, if it doesn't have the connection in Aquarius, if it's not part of the future for you, and if you don't have that strength inside, you don't have that courage, you don't have that reminder to laugh, to joke, to have fun, to live in this life, because this world is crazy. It is Saturn, Pluto world in Capricorn. It does feel like a prison. It does feel like the book 1984. It does have Uranus and Taurus. It does feel like World War II times build up. Those are all valid. We have Pluto that's getting close to its Pluto return for America, for God's sake. This is a gnarly time, but are we all just going to sit there and stress all day? Or are we going to have a great time too and love life? Because we're not going to be able to change this world without love, happiness, and we're not going to be able to do it by control and blocking that love and happiness in our life. We need to go experience it with Mars and Sag. We need to go to what we believe is in our heart, what we believe is connected to us, what we believe is a possibility, the best for our future. And we have to, with Mercury looking at that North Node for the first of many passes here, that we have to know and go with that understanding of that looks like a comfortable place to go. I don't want to stay in where I feel in a barren desert, where I am stripped away of emotion and I feel like I'm in a jail. We don't want that anymore. So, everybody's got amazing opportunities here. There's not a lot, I'm just going to be honest with you. I mean, sure, Jupiter and Neptune are getting ready for their sextile. But that's not now. But they are starting a minor one. But Jupiter and Neptune, they're about big visions. They're about believing. And they're about believing in the unknown and believing in the vision and believing in the dream. But if you can't put the courage and you can't own the identity of your heart, ego is not just identity. It is also the idea of your head of how it should look. It's different in Leo. Leo is about, I love it no matter what. It might look crazy at sometimes, but I love you, right? It's like, gosh, I can remember so many times, and I learned about my heart through raving. That's how I got into all this. But being a Leo and being a raver and being a young rave kid and being a young rave promoter and being a young rave DJ and all that shit, guess what? I fucking loved everything. I loved the person at McDonald's afterwards. I loved anybody that was in contact with me, no matter what they looked like, no matter what, because it was just pure open love and happiness and having a great time. And my favorite part was laughing. And my favorite part was, whether it was a cut-a-puddle or whether it was going out anywhere. It's about that true happiness. And this is where you're going to see people, if they're in a place of true happiness and they know how to bring it out of their heart, or they're just jealous or against people or playing a victim. Venus and Chiron can play an easy victim too. And we got to let go of that victim energy. That's what we got to heal. Because that victim is the ego. That victim is always the ego. No, we're not victims. Anybody who claims that we're a victim or that you're a victim or whatever, that is a bad energy to come from. This is also an energy with Capricorn that we are all being put in our positions, not by not having opportunities, but by how much we actually have been putting in the work and how long-term we've been putting it in. And that's why the Capricorn times have been hard for people, because people start to go, well, why is that person higher up on the list? Or why does that person get more of that? Or why? Guess what? It's just the way that Capricorn works. If somebody puts in more hours, they're going to get more overtime. Or they're going to get a bigger paycheck. Or they're going to get, the early bird catches the worm, right? So there's that whole notion that this full moon in Leo is saying, if you're flipping out about that, maybe you should put some courage and heart and happiness back into that reality and look at the reality instead of all messed up and all the politics and the world and all this person and all that and they're doing more than me. And switches back to loving and switches back to the ultimate heart and switches back to the ultimate place that you're ultimately connected with. That's what this weekend's about. We have a lot to prepare for here as Mars is going to come on its final week here in Sagittarius, and it's going to come to this galactic center, and we've got to take initiative in our life to explore and to come into our ultimate visions in our life with Jupiter and Neptune starting to sextile. But that Mars, when it comes to the South Node, last time that happened was September 7th and 8th of 2001 in Capricorn. Couple days, 3 days after that was September 11th. Just remember that. And we had Jupiter in Cancer and the North Node in Cancer and the Moon. And we are coming up to, after we get through this full moon in Leo here in the next almost 2 weeks. We're going to have the moon, Jupiter, South Node, Mars in Capricorn, but with also Saturn and Pluto. You got to remember that Mars is getting ready to come into Capricorn with all that intense energy. So we need to put this as a moment in our lives where we have the opportunity to love, that we can't block things out, and then we've got to step into the ultimate, most greatest courage, self-love, connection to people, and opportunities that are surrounding us and taking them and seeing what's there. Because at the end of the day, if you are the beast and Belle does walk into your quarters, are you just going to push it away when the rose petals are just about to fall? Or are you going to be Belle and deal with Guston and fucking everybody else that's in the town that you're not happy with? But you found the beast, that you found something deep, you found something mysterious, you found something that finally intrigued you. But both have to come together and find happiness and find connection and find a way to love and find a way to love themselves and also appreciate the opportunity and see the synchronicities and the destiny that's written all over the walls during these times as we are about to go into a major Mercury retrograde, a Mars South Node conjunction. We've got a lot of weird shit going down this month. So we want to be in the best place that we can. Card 4, wow, we got the devil reversed. We're pulling out of positions that we don't want to be in anymore and pulling out of toxic situations. We are pulling out of situations that don't bring us love anymore. We are pulling out of situations that don't bring us connection. We are pulling out of situations that are toxic to us in the environment of who we are not. This is about connecting to what we are. This is like Archangel Michael energy coming in. This is also a very interesting time as Mercury is coming to these later degrees of Pisces where it starts to make squares over to Aldebaran and Taurus. And Archangel Michael rules Aldebaran. There is this, are we going to choose the light or the dark, the Palladian or the reptilian energies? And the reptilian wants control. And it wants a lot of energy that's just like, that it has control. But that's where the South Node's going. That side's going to lose. Control is going to lose. And love and connection and being wrapped around true energy that will fulfill us is everything right now in our lives. And this is a moment for us to find that heart, find that courage. We only get one full moon in Leo this year. That is all. So do not waste this one. This is a big one. I remember last year was a full moon lunar eclipse in Leo at 0 degree. That's over now. That's all done. Mars has passed through Leo after that. So guess what? We are out of the lunar eclipse. We are out of all the eclipse energies, and we have fully cleared all the Leo energies and the Aquarian energies of eclipses. So there's no more excuses about what you know in your heart you need to do and how to connect to it and how to figure out instead of fixing things. This is about that nothing is needing to be fixed, but everything is supposed to be connected to. And we must follow our courage, our heart, and have a warm, open space in a time where we feel restricted, we feel protective, we feel like the world's not the place that we thought it would be. But that's the new normal. It's unknown how it's going to shift every minute. Monetary-wise, physically and the earth-wise. This is Uranus and Taurus, people. It is not going to be a fixated, easy reality. With Saturn and Pluto that are trying to hold it down with control. When it all comes into Aquarius, and Saturn does come into Aquarius soon, and then retrogrades in Capricorn, and then Jupiter, Saturn at the end of this year, 8 years exactly after the Mayan shift on December 21st, 2020. I'm telling you folks, do not waste this moment this weekend. I love you all very much. I'll see you at the Conscious Life Expo, and make sure they get that sale. Deep Love is the discount code. I love you all, and I will see you all on highvibe.tv.